Hi everyone, welcome back to the Integrity Botanicals YouTube channel. Today we're talking RMS and I'm going to be reviewing and swatching their notorious, very widely loved lip-to-cheek colors. So if you're familiar with RMS, I'm sure this is the product that you're familiar with. It was sort of the one that I was first introduced to, and it is essentially a little color pot that can be used on both the cheeks and the lips. Now, what I like about RMS in particular is their colors. I think they always do the colors really well. Sometimes I'm like, I don't get it, or like I can only really see that being used on the cheeks, or I can only really see that being used on the lips. Most of these I would feel comfortable doing both, and I have worn both, and these are also have a tackiness to them, so I think they last on the cheeks a little bit better than your traditional color like this that may be a little bit more thin and more emollient. While this is incredibly emollient, it has a tackiness to it, but not overly tacky either. I don't want to scare anyone by saying that, but it just, I can feel it a tiny bit on the skin, but I'm like, okay, it's gonna stick around. I like that. And not only that, on the lips, not tacky at all, just supremely comfortable, which is what I need. And so I wanted to share these with you now because in the summer is when I particularly gravitate towards these products. I want stuff that's easy, I want stuff that looks like skin, and these most definitely do so. Now, RMS is never going to be a budget option. However, they are multifunctional, so you could sort of break the price in half maybe if you plan on using it for both. They are $36. They come in this beautiful glass jar, again, an RMS staple here. It's what all their products come in for the most part. And it's this frosted glass jar. You do get a little peek of the color on the bottom with your white cap, and a ton of product. I think like 4.82 grams if I remember correctly. I forgot to write it down, but I will have all that information down below for you guys to fact check me. Now, like I said, they're dual purpose. I love that. They're blendable, but they're also buildable. So you can use your fingers, or RMS has two brushes that I can imagine this being used with in particular. This is their blush brush here. It is like a stippling brush. This is something very traditional that you would see a cream product applied with. It will allow you to build up the product a little bit, but still apply it quite sparingly, which is nice. Or they do also have this foundation brush, which you could use with their concealer, which is really great. However, it has this little slanted shape and it's a little bit more dense. So if you really wanted to build up the rosiness on the cheeks, you could definitely use this one as well. I will include those down below. The stipple has much more give, so it's a little bit easier for blending, but the foundation is really fantastic for laying down that initial color. Also, if you're unfamiliar with RMS, all of their products, if not most of them, are formulated with coconut oil, so that is the base of this. It is the most concentrated ingredient inside of them. So if you are sensitive to that on your skin, this will be a lip-only product, but it's really beautiful on the lips as well if that's not an issue for you. So let's just jump right in. I have 7 beautiful shades to share with you. We're gonna do light to dark the way I usually do, and let's just jump right into it. First and foremost is the shade Demure, and it is definitely a more demure shade among the bunch. It's this really beautiful, warm, mid-tone pink. It is really bright, and it's not something that I would typically wear on its own. You guys will see it's really baby dollish. However, this looks really fresh and pretty on the cheeks, and I do have this mixed in with another shade on my lips. So this is something that I'll use to lighten it up. I definitely like this on the cheeks if I'm going for a really like easy wearable dolly kind of look. This is one that I can get behind absolutely. That is Demure. Then we have the shade Paradise, and I believe this is like the Miranda Kerr shade if I'm not mistaken. It's just a gorgeous vibrant coral. And this is one that's, I think, particularly good for the lips and cheeks because coral looks amazing there. Looks really pretty on the lips as well to do that sort of tonal look. I really am a big fan of. Really bright, really just a true neon-y coral. It's what's gonna bring a lot of life to the face like I speak about often. That's often the route I like to go with my blush, especially for no makeup looks. Then we have the shade Modest. Modest is like probably my favorite shade. It is a warm, deeper peachy tone. So you can really sheer this out to look gorgeous. I love this on the lips. It's not what I'm wearing today, but it's just stunning. One of my more reached for shade options. Absolutely. It's so pretty. All right, sorry if there's a brief change in lighting. My camera battery was dying and I wanted to take care of that before, you know, I'm done with the video and then the camera turns off. Been there, done that. Anyways, moving along, I am on the shade Promise, and Promise is another stunning shade. Like I said, RMS gets the colors down just so perfectly. I am in love. And this is another warm terracotta sort of tone. It's so beautiful. It's a little bit more peach and a little less pink than Modest, but they're both so stunning and wearable on lips and cheeks. Like this is like total, could wear this every day if you're of a, I would say probably max medium complexion for that shade. Moving along to the shade Spell. Spell is a interesting shade. This one's a little bit different, it's a little funky, but I totally get it because it's that tart exposed sort of shade. It's a really, really, really brown based pink. So this of course looks good on the lips. It's a gorgeous nude, especially with a little bit of a deeper liner. It can give you that real 90s supermodel sort of look. On the cheeks, definitely a little trickier, but it looks really good when you're wearing a tonal look. So if I was to just do one brown shade all over my eyes, mascara, this blush, little highlight, little bronzer, and then put that on my lips with the lip liner, it would look stunning. Then we have the shade Elusive, and Elusive is what I have on all over my lips today, with a little bit of Demure. So these are the deeper shades that would look a little bit better on women of color who have a little bit more melatonin going on. This would look much nicer. I do wish it was a little more bright in color. I think that would fare a little bit better. However, it's still a gorgeous, beautiful tone. If you're a more fair complexion, absolutely use a light hand with this shade and the next one because it's just a plummy, brown, purple sort of shade, but it's not that intimidating. It's much more wearable than that description sort of allows. Then finally we have the shade Diabolique, and this is just a vampy, deeper shade. So of course I love this on the lips in the fall and winter time. And then again, for women of color, this is more of a berry tone, and this would look really good on your cheeks. Again, if you're fair, if you use the smallest amount, blend it out with the 100% pure sponge I love, sort of get the edges, use a very light amount of product, you can absolutely make this work. And what's nice about these sort of rich berry tones is that they look very like a natural, they look very much like a natural flush, which in the fall and winter months, I think that is the prettiest look you could possibly go for. All right, you guys, that is it. That is all 7 of the beautiful RMS Lip to Cheeks. Definitely my favorite, one of my favorite products in the RMS lineup. I think just the most versatile, functional, and looks good on both the cheeks and the lips. Unfortunately, I have been wearing them more on the lips more often than the cheeks because I can be a little sensitive to coconut oil with repeated use. If you're not though, go crazy. And if you are, they're beautiful lip products, like really comfortable. Like I said, I have it on today. You can see it's not really accentuating any lines. That's something I struggle with big time. So if you're more mature lips, this is a great product because they're insanely hydrating. And then if you have anything in between, of course, they're fantastic because you can work them into more of a stain. They're not really slippy and slidey. They're not really thin. That's sort of what I was getting at with what's going on the cheeks, but they're not heavy either. They're somewhere in the middle, that perfect sweet spot. So that's it, you guys. 36 bucks a piece, RMS Lip to Cheek. Signing off. I will have a photo of all of these swatched on my arms in case you guys would like to check them out for yourselves a little bit more in depth. You can absolutely do so. Product link will be down below as well. I did just do a makeup tutorial if you're curious about the makeup I have on my face, so I am going to link that down below in the description as well. And while you're down there, check out all of our social media. I link it down there every single time. And until next time, just give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe. I do upload here twice weekly and I don't want you guys to miss it. And I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye!